Alright people, well, it's another video, but unfortunately it's not going to be on the cars again. I'm still cleaning out and getting rid of some motorcycle stuff, and now I got a bunch more I got to get rid of. And I know some of you guys have voiced your opinion, you don't want to see stuff about motorcycles and four-wheelers, and I get that, but unfortunately right now, priorities are getting money in the business account to pay for the CNC setup, the business loan I got, and part of that is eBaying and getting rid of some of these motorcycles and stuff. So unfortunately, that's kind of what's on the agenda right now. But I thought I'd just make a video on these two adorable Honda ATCs. Now, I'm not an expert on them at all. I've got, let's see, I just won't even zoom in. I'll just quit being lazy and I'll walk over here to it. I've got I think this is what they call a 70cc, even though it's a 72 motor, not complete. I've got I don't know what this one is. All the other CCs are stamped on the head, but this one here, oh, it's kind of a heavy beast. I don't know if this one's a 90cc or a 110. I don't know exactly. I know it's at least a three-wheeler motor because the three-wheelers, the pegs are attached to the bottom of the case. But I don't know if this is a 110 or a 90. I'll have to look at it, but we got that one. This one over here, which is the only easy one we can figure out because it actually has a year on it. This one is a 110. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but that says 105 cc, so 110, high-low range. I never knew this about three-wheelers, but I've never had a Honda one. It's actually got an indicator to tell you where neutral is. That's kind of neat. This one over here, it doesn't have the year on it, but what did I decide that one was? That one is a 70. Now, a couple telltale signs on this one being a 70 is it says US 90 instead of ATC 90. And I don't know if this was a kit or they replaced this somehow or what they did, but this would have had those big balloon marshmallow looking black kind of things on there, and they didn't really have a hub. I think it was all just part of the rubber on it. This one here's got some bizarre adapters or something adapting these wheels on here. So these are kind of different. And then of course the front wheel's been changed, but this one's a 70 and it is a 90cc, 89, 90. This one here is obviously a 90, it's an ATC 90. Somebody actually went through at some point, have to fear this sticker, and painted this and even painted the engine and cleaned up the engine and maybe tried to do a half a restoration because even the tires have the new little nubs on them and stuff. And the gas tank, you won't be able to probably see in there, but it's spotless. So it's missing the carburetor, but that's no problem. There's a bunch of them laying around. But the problem with this motor is, even with the spark plug, it has no compression. I mean, it has just a faint amount of compression. So it's either just plumb worn out or whatever. And that's as much as I've gotten with this particular one because it's the nicest one. Even the brakes and everything work on it. And this one here is a 74 model. This one here is a 79 model, and I don't know, it might actually say 79. Oh, it does say 79 on it. And this is a 110 as well. It says it on the engine right there. Another dead giveaway on these, on what they are, is the serial number is going to say ATC 110 or whatever, and then after 79, I think they went to a different code because they had different CCs, like 185s and 200s or whatever. But I was kind of looking at these. I haven't looked at this too much, but altitude compensating carburetor. Let's see, pull knob when operating over 6,000 feet. I'm not sure which knob they're talking about. Maybe it's just this. No, I think that's the choke. I don't know what they're talking about on that. This one, even though the pull start's kind of, it's actually got some compression. So that one should run. Whether it'll smoke like a beast or not, I don't know. This one here, like I said, the plug was missing and I already stuck my finger over and pulled on it. It just doesn't have any compression. And maybe that's why it's kind of the way it is. But yeah, somebody painted that frame. Probably not real good since the paint is flaking off. And obviously it was a red tank and red plastics. Did they paint the bottom? Well, they did. Oh, this one's even got the toolkit in it. Tool can. Is there anything in it? Nope. Focus. I do know this much. To get the seat off, you flip that little thing right there. I guess that's how you'd get after your toolkit. I haven't even taken this off this bike to look at any of this, but yeah, they didn't sand the bike very well. It's got something in it. But anyways, the point of this three-wheeler here, I'm probably not going to mess with trying to even figure out what's wrong with that. Maybe. I don't know, maybe the head's easier to pop off. But this motor here is a 110, and I put a spark plug in it, and I kind of just kicked it over. It's missing the pull start. Oh, there, it's still got the spark plug in it. I guess that's why it's got resistance. But it's got compression, or at least some compression. So that motor will probably run. So I'll probably just put that 110 motor into that and just make that a 110 as well as this one here. And then, I don't know, this was probably just says ATC 90. I'm guessing is what that says. Looks like every one of these must be a common problem. They're all cracked on that side. And this one's even cracked on that side too. So I think this is somebody's homemade seat for this one. But I don't know, kind of, well, it's pretty comfy, so I don't know. I think the gas tank in this one is, there's a little bit of crud in there, but it doesn't look too bad. We got a headlight assembly on that one. We can put on here. That one's kind of got the headlight assembly. Basically, I think everything we need to make two running three-wheelers, we have. So, between all these parts. Oh, and one other thing, the 70 models, maybe up to 71, or I don't know what years, the Honda was bolted on the tank instead of being a sticker. But I did look inside that tank and it is rusted bad. So, but that's kind of the game on that. And I probably checked this one. I haven't checked this one for compression. I'll probably try to figure out what this one is since it's already out. And even if it's a 90, if it's got compression, actually I might throw this one in there instead of pulling that one out. And then the next thing on the chopping block after these is diving into the old 05 or 06, I can't remember what year it is, Suzuki RMZ 450 with some slight timing issues, which to me sounds like it's probably going to have a bent valve. I've rebuilt a lot of YZ 450s and YZ 250s, the ones from the 2000s and up, and I know that they have a lot of real touchy problems, especially if you're over tightening cam caps and stuff like that. I have never dealt with a Suzuki, but I guess we're going to try. We're going to try to figure it out, but that's not going to be part of this video right now. That's afterwards, and that bike actually runs really good, and I'm just going to part it out, so there's not going to be any kind of video on that. But the Can-Am, I've mentioned on Facebook a couple times, people have been buying stuff off that thing like hotcakes. I can't believe all the motors sold out of that thing like really quick. All the forks and suspension and stuff, people are kind of interested in wanting to buy off of it, so that's been a pretty good deal. And I dragged that bike out of a bush and got it for free. So that one definitely has been worth it. So I'll quit rambling here, guys, and I'll probably bring you back tomorrow. It's pretty late tonight. I just wanted to get a start on this video. I'm trying to get at least somewhat of a decent video out for you guys. So tomorrow we'll tear into these motors and we'll see what we can get done. Well, it's the next day. Hopefully you guys can hear me through the heater. A pretty cold day, so heater should be shutting off here soon, but I think we're going to start with this one just because it has some sort of compression, and probably going to be the easiest one to get figured out. This morning they had that bar across. I took that bar off and flipped it around. I'll see if I can't clean that up a little bit, but it just says ATC 90 on there. Now obviously that's not the right fenders for this bike because this is a 110, but good enough. The fender is destroyed, and I think that fender is actually okay. Let's see. There we go. Pop him off. Try not to destroy it. That says it's a 78, I guess. Huh, there's water coming out of it. Anyways, the grab bar looks like it's okay. It needs to be bolted on. The tail light is bad. That tail light's good. It's missing the chain, but I think all of them have chains on them. I don't think that's normal. It's hard to say, but I'm pretty sure that's not normal. So This one would basically need an air filter box, the chain guard, and probably pull this case off, this side of the case off, and put another case on it. And probably a better pull start mechanism. And the high and low shifter is messed up. Or the downshifter, I think. Or maybe they don't have one. I thought these had a pedal where you downshift them backwards, but I guess they don't. This one did. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe that's a Trail 90 bike I'm thinking of has that. Yeah. Transmission seems to shift in it. Yeah, it's a neutral. So. Anyways, carb's gonna have to be cleaned. The points are under here, I'm assuming. I'm sure it has 0 spark. Coil's missing, which that one has a coil. So let me just get the tank off and kind of round up all the electrical parts that we're going to need to see about getting spark. And then if we can get this one to run, then we'll look at trying to get the other parts on it. Alright people, I got the coil off of that 110 onto this 110. It turns out these 90 cc ones, the coil's like inside the frame, so I guess it's a good thing I have two 110s. So I put that on there. I did sand everything to get a good ground, and for kicks and giggles I decided to just not pull the point cover, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It actually has spark, so probably not a real good spark, but it has some sort of spark. So I don't see any reason why this motor won't run, because it had some compression. I drizzled just a little bit of oil in there, and you can already see it's puked it out, and I put that spark plug in there just to kind of lube everything up, and I can't even pull it over. So I think that motor there is probably a decent runner. Of course, it could smoke, it could have bad valve guides or something else wrong with it. But anyways, in my opinion, that's good. So it has some sort of spark, it has compression. Really, the last things we really need to do is pull that carburetor off and make some sort of fuel canister. That tank doesn't seem dirty. I shook it around. I don't hear anything floating around. It does have some rust barnacles built up in it. More than likely I'm going to have to run to town and grab a couple inline fuel filters and obviously some fuel line. I don't have any that's this small to get that tank hooked up, but we might be able to just, you know, feed it a little bit, fill up the carburetor and see if it'll start and run at least. But yeah, that's a good sign. So I think the next, like I said, the next thing I got to do is pull off this tiny little carburetor, which it seems to be stuck anyways. Oh yeah, she's stuck. So and we got just a regular screw through there, so that probably means that's stripped out. I think that's how, no. Must be a stud that goes in here, but got some homebrew stuff going on there. We know that turns. The little choke thing seems to work. I don't know if it's missing a part or not. Get that piece of junk off of there. So gotta get these bolts out. I'll probably have to spray some oil in here to get that loose. Oh no, the sticker's coming off. It's gonna make the value way less on this not very expensive bike to begin with. So yeah, I'll get that apart and then I'll probably not going to show you rebuilding that. There's a million trillion videos on YouTube of people rebuilding lawnmower carburetors and carburetors in general. My opinion is they're all kind of the same. So, and my shop phone is ringing. Now take a look at this, people. I'm not going to rebuild this carburetor on the camera here, but this carburetor is very suspiciously clean. I haven't actually done anything. I haven't cleaned it at all. And I don't believe anything is plugged up in it. It's a little dirty down in here. I'll have to clean that out some. But even the brass in it's still shiny. The gasket's broken. And then this here I actually blew through, which is using my lips, which is not recommended. And it's actually blows clear and clean and shuts off and does its thing. Of course, who knows if it'll leak. And then I didn't realize that they have a kind of a screen filter in them, and even the screen filter's super clean. So I don't know if this carburetor was a newer carburetor. No, probably not now that I'm looking at it. It's got two different screws in there. Or maybe it's got two different screws because it was cleaned really well. But that sheen, that kind of rainbow shine there in the pot metal casting, I mean, that doesn't have any corrosion on it. So I don't know how long these were sitting before I got them, so, you know, there's a good chance these things been sitting 15, 20 years. Well, not that one probably, but that one's probably been sitting, I don't know, I could look at the date code probably on the tires and figure out how long that one's been sitting for, but I didn't put the tires on it. But anyways, it's been sitting a long time, I can tell you that much. The throttle was stuck there for a very brief amount of time. As soon as I unhooked this off the engine, it came out. So I don't see any corrosion or anything in here or on the actual slide itself. So it's probably just dirty in there. I'm obviously not going to have a gasket for this, or there's nobody on a Sunday in this town that's going to have anything. And even if they were open, I doubt they'd have a gasket for it. So gonna have to do some right stuff on it. So sorry for clearing my throat so much. Just kind of got maybe a slight cold going on here. I'm not sure yet, but I'll get this carburetor thrown back together, see what I have for some sort of fuel line, which I kind of doubt I have anything. And then I need to check the oil in this and see what it looks like. And maybe we'll get to a point where we can try to get it fired up. All right. I've turned the motor over a bunch of times to clean out the little bit of oil I poured in there. Stuck my thumb over it. It's got compression. Made me kind of a better pull start mechanism. Got the carburetor together and throttle works. Found me a piece of fuel line. Can't find my little funnel, so I give you the smallest funnel feed that I have in the shop. And I have just enough gas sitting around in my little gas can that I keep around here to probably fill this up a couple of times. But yeah, I'm gonna get gas in this and we'll try to see if we can get it to run or sputter or do something. Who knows what's going to come out of that exhaust pipe. I don't have a super good place to put you, but that'll get us going, maybe. Got some compression. Oh, how many of you saw that one coming? Well, guess I'll be fixing that now. Alright everybody, well I went and got some gas and parts and stuff. I did get this running, as you saw in the video clip. I didn't spend a lot of time filming that because I was having a hard time. I lost spark. Broke the pull start was kind of the last thing. Got that other pull start off that other bike. Pulled on it a few times, but I decided, well, I'll just get my drill and spin it around. Messed with it and messed with it. It wouldn't start. And I finally just sprayed a bunch of gas. Well, didn't spray, but I poured a bunch of gas straight down the thing, and it finally started up and ran. And it would only run for a little while and quit. Well, I don't know if this is clogged again or what, but it wasn't getting gas to the carburetor. I put it on the fuel one, turned it to fuel, and it'll actually start and run. I have to kind of manually choke it with my hand though, so I think it needs the airbox assembly on there, kind of as a choke on it to let it run right. So anyways, the next step I'm going to do is get the gas tank on it and get that air box kind of on there, and then we'll see if we can't get it to run long enough, because it actually ran until it ran all the gas out of the line here, and that's obviously not a very good gas setup. So I'm gonna get that done. I got new fuel lines, I got a fuel filter, and I got a new spark plug and everything, so I think I have everything I need to get this just to run. Since it's ran and been running, I've had it running about 3 or 4 times. The compression on it seems okay. It's not as strong, obviously, since all the oil's out of it now, but the good thing is it doesn't really seem to smoke or anything. So, but like I said, I'm gonna get the gas tank on it, which wherever I sat it, there it is. I already checked the in and outs on it and all that stuff, and that's all clear. And like I said, I shook it around. It doesn't seem to have any rust or anything in it. And the air blows right through it, so I'm gonna say it's probably okay. And I'm sure it's got little filters on the lines in there, and I grabbed a fuel filter, so yeah, if we can just get it to where it'll run and rev up, and I can put the pull start back on and get it to where it'll start with the pull start, then I think it's actually a good running motor. Starting to smoke a little bit. Might notice the blue gas tank on there. Surprise, surprise. There's some pinholes. I'm not exactly sure where. I just slathered both corners. Well, she seems to be running alright. Even revving up. I haven't tried to pull start it yet. I just been starting it with the drill, but it's firing right up with the drill. So I would imagine it would full start. Yeah, she's sitting there just chugging along. A dicarbon and monoxide poisoning here. Just the slightest amount of smoke coming out. Better run, little bug. I see it. Gotta get that. First counted, it was doing good. I just wanted to run here for a while and get good and warm and maybe free up the rings and everything if they're stuck. Putting the air cleaner assembly on it definitely helped it. Still isn't super hot. Guess we'll see if the kill switch works. I'm assuming it did. Well, let's see if it'll stir it up again. Look at that. Fired right up. Well, that's good. I'm actually surprised it runs. There's all that rust on there. So, more than likely I'm going to have to pull that carburetor off again. I guess we can see about getting the chain guard and stuff off that other one there and putting it on here. And then, yeah, test the brakes. I'm probably going to throw another coat of JB Weld on there after that dries and hardens up or gets softer, because I don't want to have to fix another gas tank. Gas is expensive, you know, so. But I was doing a little research and it looks like these are notorious for being rusted out in the rear corners. I don't know if that's somebody's attempt. Must be. Oh yeah. There's rust holes all in there too. This one here's got some nastiness going on for sure. Alright, well anyways, I'm going to finish messing with that, getting the gearbox and stuff. The brakes seem to work, they just need to be adjusted maybe. But we'll get the grab bar fixed, probably just take it off of that one with the tail light, pop this wheel off, get the chain and stuff off of that one. And just keep rolling with it here and see if we can't get a running, drivable three-wheeler out of this. Well, looking at this one here, it does have that kind of weird thing on it. I'm sure this one's in better shape though, or at least it looks like it. Chain's pretty sloppy, but it's what we got to work with. So to take that goofy thing off, I guess I got to take the hub off here, which is, looks like it's conveniently already loose, because they already knew this was going to have to probably happen. I mean, that's just going to be like easiest thing I've done so far, since all this is hand tight and already loose. That hub comes off of there. Oh, look at that. Okay. Like I said, I think does this have a spark plug in it? No, it does not. I think we're going to try to put this motor in that blue one. That kind of a weird. I don't know. And I might possibly look at that motor too, since it's already out. But anyways, I'll quit stalling here and get this chain and stuff off and get that onto there. Well, it's gluing up. We're coming right along anyways on the gluing. So I got this chain on, and I was trying to figure out that tensioner thing. Well, it turns out that's the tensioner adjustment, this 14mm nut in this thing. She's maxed out, but she's got some tension there, so probably a good reason or good explanation how that got all tore up. I'm going to try to get my screwdriver in there and get that thing out and try to get the other one put in there. Other than that, I'll slap this cover on here and we'll See if we can't get it to run again. Well, I'm gonna change out the grab bar as well, and then we'll see if we can't get it to run again and see if she'll move under her own power, which is a little scary. Now, assuming this will start back up, it should move if it's going to move. New grab bar, tail light, air box, chain guard, chain, even put the toolbox off of the parts machine on it. So there really isn't a lot left but to throw the plastic back on and put the fuel cap on, and obviously I'm not going to go drive it around. I'm not going to move the cars out to try to go mess with it. It's raining and all kinds of stuff there. But we'll go back and forth. I don't know if these have reverse. I don't think they do, but we'll see if it'll move back and forth anyways. I should have recorded that. It started with the first pull. Alright. Brakes, probably don't have them. Alright, here we go. Wow, I mean, it is a speed demon. How the heck? Let this low. There we go. Are the brakes holding up on this thing? Maybe I'm just that fat. Let's try it again. Alright. Moving around. I don't know if I'm in, I guess I'm in low range. Yeah. Okay. It grinded back into something there. Oh. Gotta put it in gear. Huh. You know, another thing too, I didn't even look to see is that neutral? Was I in the wrong gear? That says it's neutral. Maybe that's what's wrong. Maybe I'm just stupid. That's a good possibility. Uh-oh. Come on. I could be just stupid. I'm just an idiot. All right, well, she scoots. And I have to say, she's running pretty good. tail light. Well, I don't have the headlight hooked up. Well, fellers, I think we're going to call this a win. It runs. It actually has brakes. I adjusted the brakes. It's really not loud or clacky or anything, and it starts. This fender has a crack in it, but it's better than not having a fender. It's got the headlight assembly. I think this just needs to be put back in, but I'll have to, oh no, it's broken. But that one over there has it, so yeah, it's just broken. That cable could be seized too, but this one here isn't seized, so yeah, gotta throw some air in the tires, get that gas tank over there put on here, and she's done. What a just good little running machine, not bad for, I don't know if I got $50 into buying this thing. So we'll just turn the gas down. Yeah, today's Sunday. Of course, I got to go back to work, but maybe it'll snow in the next day or two, and we'll take it out in the snow and see if it'll run. But the reason I'm fixing these up is obviously I'm going to sell them, so I'm going to get rid of them. But I should probably drive it and make sure it at least runs, and then I can ask a few $100 for it. And, you know, I see some ridiculous prices on these things on the internet, but I think with a parts machine, and if I can get it to where it'll just fire up and dial in that carburetor a little bit more, you know, I think it's a $500 machine with a parts machine. So that one there is probably about the same thing. I might ask a little more if it runs better, but, or sorry, if it looks better than this one. And I'm going to look at this motor. This is the one that we didn't find a CC stamping on, so I don't know what this is. But I'm going to look at that motor and see if it's got compression or see what's going on with it. And since it's already out, it might be a better option to put in there. And yeah, I mean, they should go right in, and then just leave that 110 in that parts spike for this one. Because technically this one has a part spike too. This one right here. So, alright everybody, well, I really appreciate you guys watching. And again, I apologize that this isn't AMC or car stuff right now, but I just got to get some of these things out of here and done. And I got to get some income coming in here for the shop. So the next thing is this guy, and then the next thing is that Suzuki 450. So maybe some of you guys have some of these big bore 4-strokes, these newer, you know, last decade motorcycles. And like I said, I've rebuilt a lot of YZs. I imagine the Suzuki's close. I don't know if it's like a Honda where it has its own, you know, gear oil and then it's engine oil. It's got like 2 different oil cases on it, but again, I don't know much about the Honda 450s either. I've had one, but so yeah, that's what I got going, and we'll get back on this blue one here soon. So until then, we'll see you in the next video.